European football royalties Bayern Munich and Manchester United will face off later today in the Champions League. Bayern start the competition as one of the genuine title contenders, while United begin their campaign with plenty of problems both on and off the field. We are going to preview that clash in this edition of WION World of Sport Extra. I am Nikhil Mathur and I'm joined by my colleague Vidur Kathuria.
Hi.
12 first-team players are not available for United. And of course, their form is terrible to say the least. Are we going to see one of the most lopsided United versus Bayern clash today?
Well, first, let's just acknowledge the fact that our sports editor, Digvijay Singh Deo, is not here. He's recovering from an illness. Get well soon, sir.
He's also part of the injured 11, 12 United players.
He's not match fit yet, but he will be soon. Coming back to United, can they still be called European royalty? But yes, plenty of problems for them on and off the pitch. And Bayern Munich is not the team you want to face when you have such problems. I think that if they will be happy if they can get a draw out of this. But if you look historically, United have the caliber to get an upset
and
when it comes
back.
to, if you see historically, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, under him, United struggled. But when it came to big games, whenever he was under pressure after 2-3 games, United got that big result, say against PSG or against Bayern even. So I think that can happen. But it will be a huge task for them. And just the fact they have begun their season with 3 defeats
in 5 games
from 5 Premier League games. And the thing is, I don't see a player stepping up from them right now. The leadership is an issue. Bruno Fernandes is the new captain. There are several players who are short on confidence. And going to Bayern Munich, who are always they are full of confidence when it comes to the Champions League, and now they have Harry Kane in their ranks. So it will be a huge ask for United.
You spoke about Harry Kane. Even United were linked to the former Tottenham Hotspur striker. Is he going to be the big difference? I think this is going to be a big game for him as well. His first, big clash. Is he going to score today?
Well, if you remember, he was also linked to Manchester United. And in fact, in his press conference yesterday, he said that obviously United were monitoring him and they were interested in him. But ultimately, he sort of chose to go to Bayern Munich because they are the kind of club that go for every single trophy. And that's what he wants to do. He wants to win trophies. And he can help Bayern do that. And the trophy that matters for Bayern Munich is the Champions League. They have won the Bundesliga in each of the last 11 seasons. It's a given. They're going to win the Bundesliga. They're going to win it again. So this is the... And, Bayern Munich have not won the Champions League from 2020. That's the last time they won it. It's not a long time. It's 3 years. But such are the standards at that club that the Champions League defines their campaign. If you don't win the Champions League, it's a failure. There are only like less than a handful, 2 to 3 clubs who are defined by their performance in the Champions League. I would say Bayern Munich, PSG and Real Madrid. And Bayern So this is the cup that they want. And now they have a team. They have a team that can challenge for the Champions League, challenge the likes of Real Madrid, Man City. Obviously, Man City sort of blew them away last season, but now they are in better position. And that one player, as we saw with Man City last season, Erling Haaland, makes that difference. So Harry Kane is the man that they have brought in to win the Champions League.
So hopefully for Bayern fans, Harry Kane could repeat what Haaland did for Manchester City. But I think they were, as you mentioned, they were very free-flowing. They play very free-flowing attacking football, and with Harry Kane, they were missing a striker. I think now that is complete. They play with a single pivot, Joshua Kimmich, and they have good wingers in Leroy Sané and Serge Gnabry. Is there any chance that United could hit them on the counter? Because, this is a United. To be fair to them, I was watching the United versus Arsenal match in the Premier League, and they began the match really well. They were hitting Arsenal on the counter. They were going toe-to-toe, and they had many injuries. But do you think there's somewhere, as you mentioned, that United are known to, eke out those results when it mattered against PSG, as you mentioned, they did in the Champions League. Is there what would be a good result for United? Let's say keep the win out of the equation if they're able to get 1 point.
Absolutely, a point would be a good result, especially away from home against Bayern Munich, first match of the Champions League campaign. And remember, United are returning to the Champions League after the season. They did not qualify for it last time out.
Did they? I think they were there in the group stage,
I think they were in the Europa League, wasn't it?
I think they crashed out of the group stage and then went to Europa.
Yeah. Coming back to your question, I think that the template that they played with against Arsenal is something that they can follow. Yeah. Remember, Arsenal and Bayern Munich, obviously Arsenal a very good side, but Bayern Munich on a Champions League night are sort of a different sort of animal, especially at home. And United won't have much of the ball. Bayern will have more of the ball. They will look to dominate, and their wingers, obviously, the way they play, they see a lot of the ball, and they look to get the ball into the box for the likes of Harry Kane. United's defense is obviously a huge concern.
Yeah. Johnny Evans is, there in the substitute. So if they're a substitute in defense, Johnny Evans, who was playing for United back in the 2000s.
Yeah. It's like it's like we're back in 2010 or 11.
But Johnny not the results. The players are there, but not the results. And but as you pointed out, United can actually take advantage of the way Bayern plays, because the wingers go very wide and the left backs and the right and left back play inverted. So I think there is a chance, if Rashford, and we are talking about Harry Kane, but since United didn't get Harry Kane, they got Rasmus Højlund.
Yeah.
And to me, he looks like a good player. He showed his glimpses in United's last match. He can be that game changer for United, because attention is always on Marcus Rashford. But I think if he can link up well with Rashford, I think Højlund can definitely hurt Bayern Munich.
You're right, he showed flashes. I think when you're bought in for the amount that he has been, there is immediate pressure on you. And when the results aren't going your way, when the team is not winning, there will be more questions asked. But yes, he has showed flashes. We know he can score goals.
Yeah.
He has that instinct in him. It's just that, but the service has to be provided to him. He can't do everything on his own. And I think the whole team needs to step up. Bruno Fernandes also, we know he has that pass in him, the ability to turn the game with a brilliant pass or a great through ball. So I think the service needs to be there, and obviously then Højlund will himself grow more confident. And if he can perform, if he can score, say a winner against Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena, and not just for him and of course for the team, it can be a real turning point. Remember this feeling of negativity around Man United that is there right now. It's still only very early doors in the season. So one victory, you never know, can change the entire mood of the club, and it can make a huge difference.
But a loss at Bayern Munich, they're so far there have been Erik ten Hag out rumors aren't there. No fan is saying it,
Yeah.
But it can also go the other way around. How do you look at Erik ten Hag? Because, last season United ended the season with a trophy, Champions League football, and they promised a lot. But so far, it's all going downhill for Erik ten Hag, with the internal issues, with Jadon Sancho being banished from first team, Anthony having that investigation, he's out, and, they couldn't get Harry Maguire out of the team. So how do you look at it? How do you look at Ten Hag's, will fans turn against him?
I think what happened last season was that he was applauded for his man management skills. I think the way he handled the Ronaldo situation was very, very good. Cristiano Ronaldo obviously did not want to be at the club, and he took that decision. Erik ten Hag, he had the ultimate decision and decided that he has to go. That was the right decision. But the difference was last season, United were doing well. They were getting those results. And even though they had like a bad patch come like February, March.
After the World Cup,
Yeah, but they had a trophy. They ended their trophy drought and they got Champions League football. So those boxes were ticked. And it was a very successful first season for Erik ten Hag. You cannot say that. And there was extreme pressure on him last season after a poor start. But he has started poorly again. Now, if the team continues to lose, those man management decisions that he has taken when it comes to Jadon Sancho, which is obviously a disciplinary issue, now those decisions will be questioned if the teams continue to lose.
Yeah, if you're winning, no one questions anything basically.
And the thing is that he obviously does not get along with Jadon Sancho. That is clear to see. There were issues last season as well.
Yeah.
And Sancho publicly coming out and saying that there were certain...
He has been made a scapegoat, that's what he said, and then later deleted
yeah,
that post.
I really don't think that he can continue to be at the club, to be honest with you. And obviously Ten Hag does not rate him that highly, unfortunately. I think Sancho has a lot of potential. He did very well at Borussia Dortmund,
yeah,
but since coming to United, really hasn't had that good spell of,
goals
in the starting
assists,
11.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I think one thing that Erik Ten Hag has instilled in this club is discipline, which I kind of like it, because it's, you need to have certain kind of standards to play for Manchester United. And, with, as you mentioned, with Ronaldo case, he was like, if he is the boss there. And again, Marcus Rashford missed the game. He was actually not included in the squad because he was late by 45 seconds for a meeting. So I think Erik Ten Hag has set those standards, and I think everyone has to meet it. It's either his way or the highway.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's a disciplinarian, and sometimes you need that kind of person, especially in a club which sometimes it feels like every defeat at Manchester United plunges the club into a crisis, because the standards and the expectations are so high, because Manchester United is such a huge club with such a global fan base. Even if they're not doing well, the attention is always on them, and they have had off-field issues with the sale not going through. I mean, it's been 6 or 7 months, and every problem that is there, that sometimes is attributed to the Glazers, which is sometimes unfair. But the way the club is run, I mean, I can understand why the fans are so frustrated, because this is, one of the biggest clubs in the world, and they have not had continued success for now more than a decade. And this is a fan base which was so used to success under Sir Alex Ferguson. I mean, we're talking about Manchester United and Bayern Munich in completely different contexts.
Yeah.
So Manchester United used to go into every Champions League as contenders.
Yeah, and it's, as you said, it's been a decade that they have challenged for.
And I think the frustration is also there because the money has been spent. It just hasn't been spent well.
No, that's a good point. You're right that United have spent the money, but as you pointed out, that I mean, I was reading Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's interview, and he said that he suggested Erling Haaland to the club, but they didn't pursue it. So the signings have been made, but these are not the signings that the manager wanted them to pursue. So I think if you need the right owners for a club to go in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree. Let's take a look at some of the comments that we have. Moses Raphael says, Manchester United will win today. Well, he's definitely a United fan, like you, Nikhil.
Yeah, I will be very happy if that happens.
Okay, Daniel Obina from the Netherlands. Hi, Daniel. Thanks for tuning in. Says, Bayern will win. Well, they are definitely the favorites heading into this tie. We have another comment. Tardillo Andres says, Man United will get smashed.
I mean, that's what the memes are on social media, What's the score going to be? So I think
let's take a look at some of the polls that we have.
Yeah, we have a couple of polls running on our social media handles, on Twitter, on YouTube. You can go there and vote live. And keep your comments coming. We will take each one of them. Let's take a poll.
Yeah, so first let's take a look at the poll that we had on Twitter. Is Ten Hag the right man for Man United? Yes, 45%, no, 55%. So obviously you see...
That's quite surprising, because I don't think, as a United fan, I don't want him to be sacked right now, because again, we'll go back to the cycle where you stick to a manager for 2-3 years and then again you press the reset button. So basically United haven't moved ahead after Sir Alex Ferguson left. So I think they have shown faith in Erik Ten Hag. I think he should stay there. There's no point in sacking him this season. I think he has instilled a good discipline. He has brought philosophy to the club, the certain kind of football that he wanted to play. Maybe because last year they had David De Gea, who isn't a goalkeeper who would play from the back, but this time they have Andre Onana, who has been criticized as well. But I think there's no point sacking Erik Ten Hag. I think we need to trust Erik Ten Hag.
Yeah, of course, especially after the season that he had last time out.
Yeah.
I think he deserves a bit of time, but such is the expectations at Manchester United, that if you lose a few games at the starting of the season, then questions will be asked of you. Okay, let's take a look at the other poll. Who will win today's clash? Nikhil, what's your prediction?
I can't predict in that. I mean, Bayern are clear favourites. It's going to be an upset if United win.
Okay, I think it's going to be a draw. I think it'll be a 1-1 draw. I'm sticking my neck out. So who will win today's clash? Bayern 69%, Manchester United 31%. Another poll that we have going is, can Bayern win the Champions League? Nikhil, what do you say?
I think they can, but as they've fallen out of pace during the business end. You know, they play really well. I think you wrote that stat, that 34 games in the group stages.
Yeah, unbeaten.
Unbeaten. But when it comes to the knockout stage, I think they need to be more clinical. I think Thomas Tuchel has the squad, and I think they can clearly, as I mentioned in my intro, they are one of the genuine title contenders, but they need to play really well in the knockout stages.
I think it's a given that they'll reach the knockout stages. Then obviously if you sometimes get the rub of the green when it comes to the draw. But Manchester City, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, now you have to say, with the signing of Bellingham and the new look midfield that they have, I think these three clubs, I'm looking at them to win the Champions League this season. Now these were the polls on Twitter. Now let's take a look at our polls on YouTube if they're a bit different. Who will win today's clash? Manchester United. My God, 83% on YouTube think Manchester United will win the clash. Wow, that's quite something.
Okay, somewhere United is winning. That is this poll.
Will Harry Kane score today? Nikhil?
I think he will score.
He will. I think so too. I think he'll get that odd goal, and everyone seems to agree with us on the poll. 100% of you think that England captain Harry Kane will score his first Champions League for Bayern Munich. Is Ten Hag the right man for Manchester United? Yes, just 40%, no 60% on YouTube. So you can see that the fans are starting to turn a little bit. But Nikhil and I think that, you know,
this is the time to believe.
Patient, yeah, be patient. Can Bayern win the Champions League? 50% say yes, and obviously 50% think that they won't. So even Steven's there. Okay, I think let's just hope for a great contest. Remember, regardless of wherever United are United, and Bayern Munich, nine Champions League titles between them.
And they have given us some great matches.
Of course, the 99 Champions League final, which you will remember fondly.
I think most of us, I started following United after seeing that. I still remember that day I was watching highlights or something. I said, which is this red team? They are losing and somehow they win it. It didn't go to penalties. They just won it. And that's how I started following United. I said, I need to find out which is the team who is playing in the red. And that's how I became a United fan. And even after that, even in 2013-14, I think Bayern defeated United. But I think Patrick Evra scoring that great goal.
Yeah. Unfortunately, for United fans, they lost that match. And who was United manager at the time? Do you remember? It was David Moyes. Yes, and he reached the quarterfinals of the Champions League. That was probably his biggest achievement as United man. But that's the thing about the thing about the Champions League. You know, it creates memories that fans remember for a very, very long time. It's a special competition, and remember, this is the last season of the Champions League as we know it. So next season the format changes. It'll be
four more teams,
and every team will play 8 group stage matches. It'll be a completely different format. So, you know, this group stage is also different, something to enjoy maybe for the last time. Yeah, it's definitely. Okay, I think we're good. What do we have
while
on
United
our show?
Are struggling, their rivals, they were earlier called the noisy neighbours, they are now winning everything. But they were given a scare in their opening Champions League match against Red Star Belgrade. They had 22 shots in the first half and couldn't score. But the Swedish champion did score. But again, they are City, they are the champions, they are the treble champions. They fought back and won 3-1. And good start for Barcelona, 5-0.
5-0, 5-star performance. Joao Felix once again getting on the score sheet. He in fact scored twice. So yes, Barcelona, perfect start for them.
And we have something very special for our fans. A certain 94 number goalkeeper scoring in stoppage time.
Lazio goalkeeper, you know, memories of that winner Alisson scored for Liverpool. Obviously, I'm a Liverpool fan, so I'll remember that. But yes, a goalkeeper scoring who was wearing the 94 number jersey, scoring in the 94th minute for Lazio to gain a point against Atletico Madrid. How often do you get to see that? So if you want to get an idea of that wonderful visual, do tune in to our show at 6:30 p.m. India WION World of Sport. See you there.